I'm live with everything, man. Top of the morning, man. I felt the need to tap in with my people. They say I'm live on everything. I don't know if that's true. Trying out some new stuff. Let me see. My bad. I'm just trying to see what's going on Instagram live too, because it say I'm live Instagram too, but I don't see the live though. Let's see. Let's see a nigga live. Anyway, man, where we at with it? We at with it this morning, so we understand what's going on. Like I'm saying, right? Let me set my shit up. Top of the morning, man. This is what I want to give to you, right? Just so we understand where we at with it. The other day, right? You know what I'm saying? We did a podcast on the Sunday cookout. We did the cookout. You know what I'm saying? It was fun and games. There was a lot of shit going on a lot of ignorance. Like you feel me? You know what I'm saying? You know, people like to tap into the ignorance. So I ain't hating on the ignorance. You know what I'm saying? I understand this is the nature of the internet. The internet is like, you know what I'm saying? If I post something positive, it get a couple of hundred views. If I post something that got to do with freeing the slaves, it get a couple of hundred views. But if I post like some murder or somebody hating on somebody, or some sorry about that unaliving, because I gotta be cool about my YouTube, right? You know what I'm saying, right? That the views go crazy, right? Shout out to my boy Rick, you know what I'm saying, masked up at all time, you know, figuring out life for us, you know what I'm saying, on that side. On the free but not free side, though, you feel me? You know what I'm saying, the people that's been incarcerated, the people that's still incarcerated, and to the two people that was on the live, it was three. CJ had tapped into. Shout out to CJ had tapped into. But the two people, Bobby Yeye and King James, right? I was listening to him as I was rocking, right? And if you ain't seen that live, go back to it. You can go to Reckless Podcast. You could that's where it's posted at the full video. You could go to any of my any of my IGs. If you know, I got about 4 or 5 of them. Plus, we got Frequency 99 rocking, or this channel, whatever. You can look at the clips. And the two people on there, the brothers on there, man, it was like a lot of drama. There was a lot of stuff going on, a lot of like, you know, you don't know if it's true. He said, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to my LA brother. And I know the gang lifestyle sometimes is the culture. We just kind of can't shake it. Because even here in the Bay Area, even though we don't bang rags, we gang members too. You know what I'm saying? Especially now, this generation is much more outwardly gang members than my generation. But we was all banging the turf, same thing as banging the set. We just ain't ragging it. You would kill or die for it for shit that you don't own. That's just period what it is, right? I gotta say unalive. I keep on not saying I gotta say unalive, can't say kill or die, right? At the end of the day, right? My point is while I'm watching it unfold in front of me, as I'm moderating, you know what I'm saying, and I'm trying to keep the peace. And it's funny, like my role to be a peacekeeper, because people that know historical me, P Dub is a menace. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But I'm listening, and like why California Youth Authority was brought up a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why anybody don't know what the California Youth Authority is, I'm gonna give you a quick tutorial, right? If you from California, you probably know what it is, especially if you like over 30. Like, you know what I'm saying? California Youth Authority, CYA, was a horrible place to be. You know, they're giving out lawsuit money for it now. I think LA already got I think they gave them like a couple of $100 million. Like, you know what I'm saying, that was dispersed amongst people, victims. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think they're supposed to be giving out some money in the Bay. You know, they kind of moving through the system, whatever. But California Youth Authority, bro, when you was there, it was a badge of honor. It was the baby pen. Like, you know what I'm saying? The staff that worked there, whether they was youth counselors, whether they was like, you know, like the kind of security counselors, they was horrible. Like, you know what I'm saying? That, and like anybody that worked there back in that era, I apologize to you if you was one of the ones that was trying to teach us something and guide us in our way. But to the rest of them, like, bro, like if you was in California Youth Authority, which we was called YA babies, it's still in you now. Like, it's still in you now. And I'm on a panel the other day, and I'm like, listen, they talking about YA. So I'm like, I'm 47. They talking about YA. They like younger than me. One of them 40. I think they're around the same age. But it's like, look, at 40-some years old, YA was still being invoked. Not just, it wasn't even being invoked like on no shit like, it was being invoked like on a gangster level. Like, you know, when you was in YA, man, like the YA mentality was, even with the police in there, with the staff, the harder you was, the more rewards you got. If you was smashing, if you was whooping ass, if you was a leader, a gang leader, if you was a boss, you know what I'm saying, right? That don't matter if you was black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, right? You got the perks. That's how it was. If you was a sucker, if you was prey, any of that, even the staff preyed on you. You know what I'm saying? So imagine your son or daughter going to the California Youth Authority, and you know they soft. Like, you know, this kid, 13 years old, 14 years old. Yeah, first time I went, I was 13. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for those that remember why, my first writing was 68877. And then I recommitted and I became a 74093. And the point of me even talking about it is like, when you was in there, imagine your son or daughter going, you know they soft. And ain't nobody in there to save them, right? Ain't nobody in there to save them. The police, nobody in there to save them. They every day get preyed on. And you know they probably messed up one time in their life and they got there, and that's how it ended up being, right? And they go through that where they end up being a victim or they end up going up and being a victimizer. Because sometimes you might go in there soft, you come out a fighter, right? And it never leaves you. It never leaves you. You know what I'm saying? It's like a part of you was born, a demon child within you that you could never, you know, totally exercise. You feel me? And I'm listening on a panel at two grown men. You know, no, I'm saying this respectfully. I'm saying this with pain in my heart. I'm saying it to you, right? I'm talking to as an OG, and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, the battle scars of the California Youth Authority, and like to any, I'm saying CY, but if you're in any state, I'm sure you had some type of programs like this, and I'm sure you empathize and sympathize, right? I could hear the trauma. I could hear grown men not knowing how to go, hey, bro, you hurt my feelings, bro, when you got at me like that. That wasn't cool, bro. Let's holler about it. And another man going, you know what, man, you right. I shouldn't have done it. I was just as petty as you. But that YA mentality, it almost dares you to go against it, right? And I've been to the California Youth Authority. I've been to juvenile hall. I've been to county jail. I've been to the state penitentiary. I've been to the feds, right? So I done went through almost every part you could go through, like, you know what I'm saying? And the trauma don't stop, right? And sometimes I literally, like, you know, I could literally be in a place of cheer and positivity, and out of nowhere that could just disappear. Like, out of nowhere it could just be gone and be and vanish, and I could be going through a world of pain and hurt and can't even express it. I could sit by myself in a room and shed some tears and don't even understand why. I could be angry about stuff and want to act out and kind of don't really get it, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching the panel and I'm like, damn, it was a marathon, so we was on live for like, I wish we was I wish we was live streaming on Twitch or something like that, because we probably would have got some coins. But we was live streaming for 2 hours and 44 minutes. And I was watching the brothers go back and forth about issues that probably to me seem like they're pretty solvable. Either we just, you know, either squash it and apologize, hug it out, or we just don't talk, right? But when you talking to people that's traumatized, when you talking to people that got PTSD and don't really know how to deal with it, or probably don't even recognize that they got it, it's difficult for men to go, hey, bro, man, let's just let it go. Because one man might say that and the other man say something else. Now you feel like a sucker. And plus, we're in front of a live studio audience. So a lot of men, it's hard for us to break it down when other people watching, right? And it's sad. It's sad. And I'm telling you that I'm not saying it's just, I'm just judging like it's not in me too. But it's just funny, not in a laughable way, to when you sit back and watch it in real time, and you watching it unfold in front of you, watching grown men go, hey, they really tripping on each other. Like, this could lead to being unalive. This could lead to something that's very detrimental to your heart and soul. It's like, it's a real thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you could be so out of control and out of touch with it that literally on a recorded device, you could threaten another man's life and just out of control with it and don't understand what you're doing, right? So it made me kind of touch bases back to my real true essence of who I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do in this world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everything I learned throughout the course of these breaks from freedom. And that's why Free But Not Free was spawned and born. It was because of that. Like, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Right. And that conversation, even though it wasn't really all the way a conversation, at the end, it kind of got together. And I understand some people like, it was just content, right? But I seen the trauma. I seen it. And Free But Not Free is supposed to be about that. You know, the FBNF, I made it a media arm for sure. You seen, if you watched any of my interviews, when I'm talking to people about recidivism, reentry, I'm talking to people, we might be talking about bank robbery, we might be talking about what it was like to be with Mac Dre, we might be talking about other things, but almost everybody that you ever seen on my panel has some type been incarcerated. They had some type of reform going on. They, they might have went back a few times and they trying to figure out reentry. So shout out to all my brothers that sometimes, like, since we both, all of us been out, we ain't really kind of kept in touch like what we supposed to with the support groups and stuff, because everybody trying to work and stuck in the matrix trying to figure it out. But shout out to all my brethren, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't been out a year yet. And to people that either don't know I've been incarcerated recently, or people that do, sometimes the way I move and make it seem like it's simple. Like I'm rocking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got it, like, you know what I'm saying? But people don't know what it's like when the camera's off. People don't know what it's like when I'm by myself, chilling, looking in the corner, a dark man in my head, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's there. And I watched it unfold the other day. So what I would like to do is, I would love to just extend any olive branches to people that want to talk about stuff like that. It don't got to be on camera. You could just hit me up. You hit me up in a DM. You know, you could leave me a message. You could, if you got my number, call me, whatever, right? Because when I look at it, it's be like, you know, I'm a dude that's I have to be the consummate boss. I'm always like the leader of men, of women, of children, right? And the times when I got to sit back myself and go, hey, what's up? I got to talk to myself and go, hey, who gonna fuel me when I'm down? You feel me? I'm saying, who gonna let me know what I should be doing, right? And shout out to my brothers that's been in YA. Like, anybody that's been to a youth authority, we all understand. Like, we understand that it's fucked up in our heads. Like, some of us can't control it. Some of us will wear it like every day and rock through it. And people don't understand the trauma behind it. It come out as violence and it come out as anger a lot. But in real life, it's really sadness. It's really like, it's kind of hopelessness sometimes, because you just feel like, damn, nobody really understands me. You walk around the world and you misunderstood. And I'm not saying this to just for you to exalt those of us that's been in there and give us passes when we should be grown men in grown men situations. But I am saying that if you got anybody that's been through any kind of trauma like that, it's like coming back from war. Literally, it's like being a war vet. It's like coming back from war and not understanding how much the world has changed, and most of the time moving in situations with aggression, because that's what we was taught. The penitentiary teach you that too. Quiet as is kept. School teach you that. When you step out, you in junior high or middle school or high school, when you stepping out for lunch or recess or whatever form, that's the yard. We don't see it when we doing it. When you in that lunchroom and you cooking up with your people and you moving back and forth to these classes as a group, as a gang, or with your folks or whatever, that's all preparing us. All this stuff is preparing us for where we at now. Like, you feel me? And a lot of times it's very difficult for you to put your finger on that. And that's why it's important when your kids come home from school that you ask them what they learned. You know what I'm saying? You ask them, how was their day? Not just when it comes to, like, you know, their homework and all that, but what have they been through psychologically? Like, you know what I'm saying? And if you somebody, as a man, if you somebody wife or girlfriend or something like that, sometimes just take the time to sit back and just ask them, hey man, what's on your mind? How you feel? You know, what you've been going through. If you a man, for sure, sit down with your wife or your significant other, or even your sister, or whoever, and just ask them what's going on. Like, how you feeling? You know, this slavery, this slave mentality that we be having in our mind, like, it's so easy to dismiss, because every day you got to go to work for 8 hours, you know, accumulate that 40-hour work week plus overtime just to pay your bills, and then kind of sit down and not really have nothing saved and have to do it again. If you got kids, you got to go through the rat race. And I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in a race. And sometimes me knowing that I'm in a race, it destroys me, knowing that I'm still in a race and I'm trying to avoid the rat race. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we sit back and we kind of underachieve. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're hoping that you overachieve, but you underachieve, and that shit can make you sad. It can make you mad and try to figure out life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. And that's where we at with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for those that don't really understand, King James, I see you, I didn't even see you. Like, you know what I'm saying? For those of us that like really get it and that's really trying to do something to help it, let's come together, man. Let's come together, right? And that don't mean that you won't see Dub do no ignorant stuff within the next couple of days or have a conversation that might seem meaningless and stuff like that, because I understand that I'm in this media world. And just so we understand, let me put this out there, right? You know, I've been a musician damn near my whole life. I was surrounded by musicians. Almost all my family was like in some type of music, right? So music is like my life. And being in a realm of like the music, whether it's gangster shit, whether it's R&B, whatever, right? It is a realm that's like kind of dangerous, and it's like you kind of don't know. But I feel like I know how to navigate that world. This world of media, this podcast world, it's a different animal. You know what I'm saying? It's a different beast. You know what I'm saying? And what I've learned over the course of my life is that when you force me to be a real nigga, I go back to jail. I don't want to be forced to be a real nigga. I don't want to have nobody to push me in no corners and like, I got to be a real nigga. This podcast world is so phony and so fake that you never really know what's real. Not just the podcast world, the media world is so phony that you could think you doing some real shit, but you fucking with fake people. That's why it's just important for you to rock towards whatever bag it is you're trying to secure, and make sure that you're not just doing this shit for likes and clicks and the euphoria that you get from being accepted from 1,000 comments, likes, and hella views is your currency. Because if it ain't really paying you, it ain't monetized. You just doing it. That like it's like the dopamine. Like when you playing Candy Crush or you hitting the slots, you might not even be winning. You know what I'm saying? But the jingle with the words and the bright lights and the excellence and stuff like that, that's like your dopamines in your head is making you feel as if you're winning, as if it's currency. Getting 100,000 views on YouTube, it feel like it's currency. But is you really getting to the bag, or are you really getting money? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you that as a man who once did a lot of criminal activity, not always for money, but sometimes just because I wanted to step in that world. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my fascination with weapons and being a thug was enough, right? Just make sure that you ain't misguided. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for those that, you know, double back on this, you know, when I clip it and you see it, my heart goes out to those that sometimes can't get over the mentality of their version of YA or their version of prison and not even realizing that they free, right? They freed from that realm. You know what I'm saying? But up here, you still in a cage and your heart is black and you don't know how to love. You don't know how to forgive. You don't know how to fall back. And you definitely don't know how to sit back and just shed some tears and just, whether they thankful tears or just the tears are like, let me just get it out this way instead of getting that weapon and pointing it at somebody, right? Sharpen your mind, man. That's really the best sword that you could ever wield in life. You know what I'm saying? Soften your heart and understand that when you walk into a room, you can light it up just by being that guy. And as a man who sometimes walks around and feel like it's all eyes on me, for those that also feel the same thing, that the way you move, people emulate that, or they looking for you to lead them. You know what I'm saying? And to all these media outlets, I'm establishing something. Me and my business partners, we establishing something. So anybody that's got any ideas that they want to pitch for anything like this, tap in, man. Frequency 99. It's a media arm. We absorbing podcasters. We absorbing content creators. We absorbing everything, man. You know, we putting everything on paperwork. We signing it and we cultivating that, especially anything positive, because there's so many negative things in this world that you could just scroll right now on your timeline and just see every day. And sometimes I'm part of the negativity, and I apologize for that for the people that's looking up to me for something else. But just know that even when you see that, if you see me doing that, I'm still pushing towards a greater realm, right? Go hug your people, kiss your people on the forehead, make sure the babies know that you love them daily. And for those that have been through any trauma in their life, whether it's actual war or the war in your head, tap in, man. I'm like a hotline. I got the game for you. I got the sauce. Free but not free. It's the capo, man. Love. It's all love. Don't be a fool, man. Don't be a fool.